Hi, 8th graders. Welcome to another week of US history. So, this is week 6. I'm in my MCPS classroom and I'm getting ready to show you how to go through this week's module. So, if you start at the top, and you always want to start at the top and work your way down, we're going to start with the checklist. All right. So, open up the checklist. This will tell you everything that you need to do, and it'll give you a timeline of when to achieve it. So that way you don't fall behind, or you're not feeling stressed out about the work that's given to you. So if you look at the checklist, it's going to tell you everything you must do and the things that you may do. So this week, you're basically going to watch a couple videos. You're going to go through a presentation, and there's a video to watch with that presentation. To go over some vocabulary, you're going to complete a timeline questionnaire, and then you're going to complete F6, which is your grade for this week. If you have some time, you may do these optional extensions. So if you scroll down the checklist, you'll also see last week's assignments, the points, and when it was due. Okay, so this is the pacing guide. If you would like to complete your work following this pacing guide, you may do so. Or another strategy some students use is they pick a day and then they do all of their assignments for one particular class on that day. And I know another strategy would be to go through your periods as you were in school and like complete your assignments for first period first, second period, and then third period, and so forth, all the way down the list. So whatever works for you, um, those are just some ideas. All right, after you go through the checklist, you scroll all the way down and you click next. So the next part is a video, which you are watching at this point right now. And then you will see the objectives for this week. So this week, the essential question is, how did African Americans exercise their freedom and rights during Reconstruction? I know that another word for exercise is use. So I'm going to put that in order to understand this objective a little bit better. How did African Americans use their freedom and rights during Reconstruction? Well, you may be asking yourself, what is Reconstruction? So the next part of the module is going to talk to you about what Reconstruction was. So you want to start off with watching this video. And then after you watch that video, you're going to go through this presentation. All right. After you go through this presentation, you're going to click next. And you're going to go through a timeline. So this Reconstruction timeline, this video will show you how to go through that, but you should be familiar with this timeline. We've used it before in class with Native Americans, and so you just click through the timeline, you read the information, you look at the images. You can watch this video, it'll guide you through it all. All right, so the next part of your work for this week is a graphic organizer that's going to help frame your mind around what Reconstruction was. This graphic organizer, is going to help you with F6. So you definitely want to go through this and use this to guide you for F6. Now you're going to use the presentation that you've already looked at, but what I would recommend is opening this up as well, okay, and having them side by side. That way you can go through this and look at the graphic organizer. So go through the questions, and there's already sentence starters there for you. So you literally just have to read the question and then fill in the rest of the sentence starter. So you go through the presentation and it'll help you answer all of these questions. It's literally from this presentation, that's where we found these questions, okay? Once you're done with that, you are all ready for F6, all ready to be successful. So you click next, open up the quiz. It's in Google Forms, and you are allowed to have your notes open. You can have the presentation open, okay? And then you fill out your name, your teacher, the period that you're in, and then multiple choice. So the next section is multiple choice questions that are based on this graphic organizer. So you want to just answer each question with the correct response. And then you're going to move on to the source analysis. So the source analysis is basically reading 4 different sources, and you are trying to figure out the best claim statement for each of the sources. So remember, a claim is like the main idea and the position on something. So you're going to read this first source up here, and then you're going to answer which of the following is the best claim statement for source 1. You want to do that for source 2, and make sure you read this information for source 2 because this image is explained up here in the top. Okay? And then you want to pick the best claim statement for that source, and you want to do the same thing for source 3. So read this source and then figure out the best claim statement for source 3. Source 4 is asking you to basically read this source and figure out so it says source 4 is least relevant to the prompt because. So least relevant to the prompt. The prompt is up here at the top of this next section, which says, how did African Americans exercise or use their freedom and rights during Reconstruction? So how did African Americans exercise or use their freedom and rights during Reconstruction? So scroll back down. Source 4 is least relevant to that prompt because. So after you read this, you'll be able to decide why is this the least relevant to that prompt that I read at the top. Okay, once you're done with that, you are all set. Please let us know if you have any questions. This week, our office hours are only on Thursday. Please reach out to your teachers. We're here for you. We care about you, and we hope that you're doing well. And if you're not doing well, please reach out to us, and we're here to help you. All right, have a great week. I hope you had a great weekend.